Okay, so let's take a look now at how we can digitize something like this and make heads or tails out of this. A lot of this is going to have to do with layering. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I want to make sure that the layer is going to show up. So right now it's selected as a gray color. You'll see I have a lot of blues in here. There's a reason for that. Let's check it out. So I'm going to go to select a blue color, say OK. All right, do we need to see that again just really quickly? Double clicked on the layer, and I can select any of these colors, and it's going to change that color. Okay, so let's zoom in. I'm holding the space bar and the control key, and I'm going to go around the whole outside of my shape. But first, let's make sure that my fill color is turned off, and let's give it a black stroke. Okay, so this should be pretty basic to you by now. We click on the fill color to bring it to the front. We click on the stroke color to bring it to the front. Okay, let's minimize this window. So now I'm going to start, click and drag. I'm going to go all the way around the outside of my apple. As I'm working on this, I'm going to think about how I'm creating these objects. Okay, the big object, obviously the background of the apple. I'm going to think about what color do I want my base color to be for the apple. Okay, so I could click one of the highlight colors, but that probably wouldn't be very useful at this point. So what I'm thinking about as I'm working on this is I like this red area right in here. So I'm going to plan for that to be my base color. And then let's go up to the top. And I think I may fine tune this a little bit. Got my direct selection tool. Okay. And that's looking pretty good. All right. So now with my, oof, look at that lump. Hold on. Let's fix this. So I'm going to add a point, and then I'm going to hold down the control key. And I'm going to pull this in. Maybe this guy. Control key down. You notice I still have the pen tool selected. Okay. Enough for now. So let's start off with the highlights here. Okay, so I'm going to trace this top edge. You hear my parrot chattering in the background? Okay, I'm going to hold down the Alt key. Bring this back around. And then I'm going to hold down the Alt key and finish that off. Okay. So now if I'm looking, I see a reddish color, whereas this is more of a very dusty kind of a pink. So I'm going to start working on that color next. And think about how you can use the layering of objects so that you don't have to trace over something again. Watch this. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key, bring my corner in, bring it up inside here. And now I can hold down the Alt key, and since I have that shape, I can just define that as a polygon because we're going to hide that later, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let's try that again. So now we've got a different color red, and you can put as much detail in this or as little, and it all depends on how many levels of posterization you get. And we can finish this off. And once again, another polygon. All right. And then let's just do a couple of these little highlights in here for an example. You may want to add more detail than I'm adding. That's okay. Just for the purpose of the demo, I don't think you want to see me go through this whole thing. All right, and we'll call that one done. So now let's take a look at how we can do this. When you're going to use the eyedropper tool, which is a great way to start off, you can hold down the control key and notice it toggles in and out of the eyedropper. Okay, I'm going to pick the smallest shapes first. Okay. And then I can reorder these shapes by holding the control key and the open bracket, which is right up next to the P key on your keyboard. Okay, so you have, what is it, U, I, O, P, open bracket. All right, and then we're selecting our small shapes to start off. Okay. And now we're going to get to some of these funkier shapes that have the polygons in them. I can explain a little bit more clearly about what's going on here. So let's grab, this was the first shape. Yes. So I'm going to hold down my, use the eyedropper tool to get that color. And once again, I can reorder these. So I just hit the open bracket once, and look, and now it's underneath. Okay. So let's try that again over here. And we can hit the open bracket and reorder that. So using this technology or this technique, you can save yourself a lot of time, because if I try to trace this exactly, it's going to be a waste of time. It's not going to look neat. It's not going to look clean. Okay. By doing the polygon and paying attention to how things are layered, I save myself a lot of time and I come up with much more clean edges. Okay. Try and get this working in your artwork as you do this. So let's take a look now down here at how we do the shadow. Okay. So I created this as a gradient. All right. I can turn layers on and off so that I can make sure I've got things right. And here I can click, try and get that inside circle. And I'm going to change that to a black. And I'm going to change this to a white fill. Turn that off. And now I can make that my shadow. Since this is underneath, you'll see this in a minute. So let's take a look at how the final result came out for me. I'll turn off that. Let's Control 0. So here, if I have my colors all selected, some of them may work better than others. Remember, you don't have to take the color that your eyedropper tool gave you. Let's say you didn't like this color very much, right? We can come in here and making sure that my fill color is on top. I can add some more red to it. All right, I'm in CMYK color right now. If I come up here under RGB, it's a little bit different. If everything is on this side, it's going to get brighter. If you want to make things darker, you can go to the others. Okay, so here I can change this to make more like a candy color. It's all in whichever color model you feel more comfortable with. You could even go to HSV and change things this way, but you got to select your color first, right? So here I can make this a little brighter and have a lot more fun with these things. Another thing you can do is if you click here and you have a reasonable color, maybe you want to change the transparency. So here was the full color as it was sampled by the eyedropper tool. I can always dial things back. Now you have to be careful using transparency, because if I come in here and I make something transparent, I may see those polygons, right? So let's say I make this guy transparent. That's not going to work for me there. So be aware of how you're using that tool. Okay, so this is a great way to learn to digitize a photo. Let's go back to Photoshop for a minute before we finish up. And you can try this with somebody's face. All right, so the fruit's pretty easy. But what will happen if we come up to adjustments, posterize, and we start to get some of those layers looking. Okay, so now you've got a real good challenge. A lot more complicated shapes and things like that. So once you've done the apple, push it a little further. See what you can do. Okay, have fun with it.